better each week and gain more confidence, this New England team is going to be a hard out.
So again, they clinch a spot in the playoffs. The division is still open. The Bills still have a chance to be able to win that division, but right now, New England definitely headed back to the playoffs. On the other side, though, the Ravens, look, it's been a disappointing season for a number of reasons, but number one, Lamar Jackson's been in and out of the lineup for that squad. They're obviously not the same team without him. They lose this one. They lose him. Not sure his status for next week, but they still have a chance. They win out. They're in there.
No, they got a chance, and that's all you can ask for. And you look at the NFL right now, we went into 2 weeks ago, there was 21 teams still alive.
Right.
There's still a lot of teams alive. If you have 7 or 8 wins according to what division you're in, now you got to win out. But you're in playoff mode. And that's what the NFL wants. They want a bunch of teams in playoff mode. They happen to be one.
They still had a chance in this game, too.
Yes, they did.
They had a lead, and it was the defense that gave it up. Whether Lamar Jackson's out there or not, obviously you want to have the offense extending and getting more points. But the defense, they had a lead, and they couldn't hold it.
And a lot of it had to do with Drake May. He took them down the field. He made some nice throws in big moments against a pretty good defense when you talk about the Baltimore Ravens.
Right.
And then he did it, so you got to give him credit.
Hey, he's been doing it all season long at a time when a lot of people were doubting him. But again, first time the Patriots have been in the playoffs since 2021. We'll see what happens with that division. Uncle Herm, appreciate it as always.
Appreciate you.
Coming up next, Scott Van Pelt. A wild week in the NFL yet again. He's going to give you a little recap, and then after that, I'll be back.
You'll be
some
back.
more Sports Center.
There you go.
No Briscoe.
No,
but I'm
no
here.
me. I'm going to bed. I'll be back tomorrow morning.
His night's over.
Pungent, it looks like the North could belong to Pittsburgh once again. A loss by the Ravens or a win by the Steelers would get us that eventuality, and it looks like that is the direction headed. As for New England, a 12th victory, slotted still that 2 seed. In studio with the fellas to explore, and I have plenty of questions on the Ravens side, but let's start with the winner. JJ, we look to Drake May as someone who's literally answered every question you could pose to him. Hasn't had that fourth quarter comeback type moment. Trailing in this game late, finds the points he needs, goes ahead late, and just looks like he's in complete control throughout that process. What'd you take from the performance?
Well, it's huge, right? You have Drake May, an MVP candidate who didn't have the 300-yard passing game. And then what does he do against the Baltimore Ravens defense in a game that Baltimore really needed to win? He passes for 380 yards. He has 2 touchdowns. He could have scored another one right there at the end of the game to pad those stats, to help his MVP candidate. He slides. Let's go ahead and kneel out the game and get the win. This is a big game and a big win for Drake May, who also, let's be honest about this, they could have had more points on the board. I thought there was a very questionable roughing the passer call there at the end of the first half, where the Patriots should have gotten the ball back and they should have been able to kick what would have been a chip shot field goal. Then there was a non-pass interference call deep down the field. Also, earlier in the game, they gave Baltimore a short field on a terrible 4th and 10 fake punt. And so this game, while Drake May did come back down 2 possessions in the fourth
plays, but what's most importantly, this team was undefeated on the road. The only undefeated team on the road, and the Patriots have found ways to win ball games. And I was very, very impressed on how they responded from that loss of last week. Bruce Arians was a coach of mine. He used to always say, good teams don't lose 2 in a row.
Back to back,
And now New England went on the road against a quality opponent. Yeah, we know they didn't have Lamar Jackson late in that ball game, but the way and the fashion that they won that ball game was very, very impressive, doing the way they lost last week. So hats off to Drake May and Coach Vrabel and that New England team, because they're doing some impressive things right now.
It's impressive what we saw in prime time throughout Week 16 thus far. You have the Seahawks trailing by 10 in the fourth quarter coming back. You have the Bears trailing by 10 or more in the fourth quarter. You have now the New England Patriots trailing by 10 or more in the fourth quarter, come from behind wins in all 3 of those instances. I want to get to Baltimore here in a second, but I do have a voter at the desk with me, and we saw big numbers from Matthew Stafford in a loss. We see big numbers and a career high for Drake May. How are you weighing these 2 seasons one to the other?
So I'm very happy that there are still more games to be played and more important games to be played. I had, going into this week, if the season ended, it would have been Matthew Stafford as the MVP for me. I don't hold against Matthew Stafford the fact that his defense didn't hold up at Seattle. He played the game, and he played at an MVP-like level, right? But you also do have to credit Drake May, because something that we've kind of danced around and touched on, we have noted that Lamar Jackson went out in this game. But Drake May did not play Lamar Jackson. Drake May didn't have to play Lamar Jackson to come back down 2 scores in the fourth quarter. It didn't matter, right? I mean, yeah, Lamar being on the other side, they could have added to that.
Affects game flow.
Sure.
Yeah.
But the fact is, he did this against a defense that was desperate. And he got that win. This was a big moment for Drake May. Some people had kind of taken him out of that discussion, kind of brought Josh Allen up to that maybe number 2 level. I think that Drake May came through tonight and said, no, I still deserve to be in the top 2 conversation.
And he put his team on his back tonight. They had no running game at all tonight. Right, so,
well, I feel like we should talk about it, so let's talk about it. In a 4-point game, you're looking at Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry with the big coats on the sideline. Lamar Jackson suffers a back injury to add to the rash of injuries he's dealt with this season. Derrick Henry essentially pulled from this ball game. Perhaps more answers on that to come here post-game and in the days to come. But interesting usage, Mac, in terms of the running back, and another unfortunate situation here from Lamar. What do you make of the 2 omissions?
I don't understand it. I don't understand it. Now, with the injury to Lamar, that's something that you can't control. It's the flow of the game. Unfortunately, unexpected injuries happen. But with your star quarterback out and you still need to find a way to win, the best way to make that possibility become a reality is running the football. And I understand Derrick Henry had a costly fumble in the first half, but he still was very, very successful against the New England Patriots. And when you look at his day, 18 carries for 128, he averaged almost a first down a carry. 7 points. Yeah. So that second rushing touchdown that gave you that, 24 to
13 lead.
24 to 13
at the start
lead.
Of the fourth quarter.
Right there, to start the fourth quarter, this is where you say you got to close the ball game for us, Derrick Henry. You're our best offensive player that's healthy. And you just gave us this nice lead. But when we go back out there offensively, regardless of what happens with Drake May and our defense, we're leaning on you. You got 18 carries now. You should finish with at least 27 to 28. We're going to ride with you, Derrick Henry. JJ, did Derrick Henry play again after that touchdown?
He did not appear on the field after that. And I do want to say, just in fairness, because there could have been an injury, but the reason that it's so baffling to us is there was no announcement of any injury. There was no Derrick Henry, knee, questionable to return. So maybe he was battling something. We don't know that, but there was no announcement of anything.
But the biggest thing, we've seen this movie before.
That's it.
With the Ravens.
We are left to read their body language, and their body language often tells a story not of a team that's engaging with the idea that there's 3 weeks left in the season.
Right.
We got to go find some wins. How do you read that group on the sideline?
Man, it's tough because we've seen this time and time again when they need to lean on Derrick Henry late in the ball game. He's nowhere to be found, and I don't know if it's because of the fumbles early on in the game that's causing Coach Monken to shy away from him. But they have to find a way to keep him engaged in the game, especially when he's having the game that he was having.
Yeah,